So I state often on my account that if someone asks me a grounded, reasonable question in a reasonable way, I will answer it in a reasonable way. A reform voter asked me a question. I answered him completely honestly and candidly, because he was being reasonable. Here was the question. It's up above me. Why am I specifically going for Nigel Farage over the grooming thing? Well, other than the fact that he did what is described in the video linked there, that I also published, in that he stood next to a young girl, well, a woman now, who has had her life ripped apart and been left permanently traumatised by filthy abuse, and commented, better not talk about your private life, crushing her utterly. They've been begging for an apology for a week. He's studiously ignoring them because he doesn't care. But that aside, everyone keeps blaming Keir Starmer for the grooming scandal, for a lack of whatever inquiry. That's being used to cover up, and Farage is using it to cover up. Why is that? Listen up and listen carefully and listen good. All of this is in the press. You've just got to be able to link it together to understand what's happened here. Reform supporters, a lot of whom, not all, but a lot, are really good people who genuinely care about the safety of their children and grandchildren, are being utterly manipulated and played. Those of them with good hearts are being played and manipulated and lied to by that horrible, odious, skinny little stick insect in a suit. You see, Savile was conducting his awful behaviour under a Tory government. He knew Margaret Thatcher. He knew multiple Tories who were very prominent. Do you really believe none of them knew what he was doing? Men like that always know other men like that. They do. They network. They seek out their little friends. The Tories handed Savile the keys to those wards, in effect. Some of them actually individually enabled him. And yet Farage is not calling for an investigation into the Tory enabling of that grooming and sexual abuse of children in our hospitals, a place where parents send their children, expecting them to be made well and get better. Instead, those children were savagely raped. Now, loads of Tories have joined Reform. Farage is trying to point the finger of blame for what the Tories did, enabling a nonce, at Keir Starmer. I don't like Labour. I really don't like Keir Starmer, but it isn't his fault. He didn't do it. The Tories did that. Where is the call for an inquiry into the Tories? Well, it's not going to happen, is it? Why? Because loads of them are in Reform, who are the light blue Tories. That's right. And on top of that utter horror, Nigel Farage has commented, leave Prince Andrew alone, it's in the past. So yes, as a survivor of sexualised abuse, I am disgusted by Nigel Farage. This is why I'm so implacably opposed to him. I can't stand people who are rabidly into Reform and attacking women online because of all of that. They're in a nonce group. That's why.